travel around college football, and I can't tell you how many times coaches will say it's not about what the other team does, it's about what we do. We got to execute our plan, and it will take care of itself. And you know what? That's mostly true. If you don't execute and you don't run the routes and you don't throw and catch and do the things fundamentally well, coaches are right. It doesn't matter what that defense does. But there are other times when a defense gives you a matchup that's incredibly favorable, and in this case for the Seahawks on 3rd and 8 on the only touchdown they scored, they got a Carolina look that, first of all, if I was in Carolina doing talk radio, I'd probably be blasting the call, because I don't think you could play a worse defense against this quarterback in particular and give him the throwing lanes and the opportunity they did with their 3rd and 8 defense. So let's look at, first of all, what the Seahawks did within their game and what they controlled. They get into their 3 wides and 1 tight end set. That's Zach Miller. You got Marshawn in. They bring Braylon in again, who right now is the king of clear out, as we've seen on many of these chalk talks. And he does exactly that. He's going to go through and clear out. Zach Miller's going to run a corner route. Marshawn's going to check protection, and he's going to leave and vacate right away. Now, I've always said to you on these chalk talks, what are some of the indicators you got to look for? Where are my safeties? When Russell Wilson comes out, what kind of safety alignment am I seeing first and foremost? Because that's a pretty good indicator of man versus zone. What are the DBs doing? What's the structure within the front 7 here within the box? Well, basically everything is telling Russell Wilson zone. You're seeing a 3 down front from Carolina, and ultimately they run and they rush 3, and they're going to drop 8 into coverage. Once again, ideal for a group that right now, pass protection-wise, especially in critical moments, can be a little bit leaky. So they come out, does Carolina, in a 3 down front. They're going to rush 3, and they're going to drop 8. And they're going to play some zone behind this to take care of both Marshawn and Zach Miller. That's fine. This side is dead. The only way that was going to come into play in any way, shape, and form was pressure and total man, and maybe he'd hit Zach Miller. But by and large, this play's dead on this side. Okay, Carolina's going to bluff with the linebacker, but he's going to play zone. Kuechly, who, by the way, may have been a Seahawk if he didn't go in the top 10 to Carolina, does a great job, as he did all game long, Brian Urlacher-esque, within their 2 deep zone of running down the middle and taking care of Braylon Edwards on the seam route. So he's dead. And how many times in these chalk talks have we done this? This side's dead, clear route's dead. Many times people will say, wow, as a quarterback, how do you see the whole field? Well, you don't. But naturally, things take care of themselves. Defenses take away certain aspects and reads and progressions, and the game becomes, as we've seen many times in these chalk talks, 2-on-2 or 1-on-1. In this case, Carolina, as I said, plays their 2 deep zone. Kuechly runs out underneath. The linebacker here, Davis, is bluffing, but he's going to get to a zone. And here's the game. This is what it becomes. Becomes my guy, let's see, Antoine Applewhite. That is a defensive end, number 93, that they have decided, Carolina, that it would be smart to play in a zone coverage defense. Not pass rushing, not what he's built to do, but let's be cute and let's get him in zone coverage. We'll have Kuechly run with the seam route. We'll put him in zone, linebacker in zone. And on this side, the Seahawks decide to run not only the clear, but they get Sidney Rice on a corner route. That pin's dead. They get him on a corner route, which takes that safety out. The cornerback initially shows man and tries to press Golden Tate, but he also falls under the corner. And now here it comes. Golden Tate on a little slant route, okay, versus a D-end and a nickelback. The nickelback does his job. He's in zone. And by the time he reacts, and let's give some credit here. Okay, it was, I think, on the Chalk Talk 2 weeks ago where Golden Tate against Green Bay had a read, had a little smash route where he's going to run that smash route, and Sidney Rice was going to run the corner. Do you remember what happened? Golden Tate misread it. Okay, he got in between. He kind of ran kind of a smash. He's supposed to break it in away from the man. He didn't, and instead got in no man's land and interfered that corner route. This time, Mr. Tate, well done, Golden Domer. Okay, he sees zone coverage, is not fooled by the corner who comes up to press him and bail. He recognizes that right away. And watch the video and watch the lack of hesitation from Golden Tate. Now, you can't get me. Maybe I screwed up against Green Bay. Maybe at times my recognition of man or zone is wrong. This time it wasn't. He didn't hesitate. He comes flying in. He gets in front of the nickel. Mr. D-End here is completely lost. He's in la-la land doing I don't know what. Allows Golden to catch it. pinball, bounces through 3 tackles, gets in the end zone. And the decisiveness for number 3, easy read, because Mr. Tate is decisive. You get a matchup with the defensive end. It's a win. It's a 3rd and 8 touchdown. It's a bad defense for Carolina, and it's Seattle taking advantage of a very favorable matchup.